Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about how to dimension a floor plan using NKBA standards. The first thing you need to know about NKBA standards is that you always use inches. Inches, 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 inches everywhere. Even in this example right here, where you are dimensioning the entire room, you would never say that it's, I don't know, for example, 13 feet 6 inches. You would give it in inches only. Always place your dimensions outside the wall if possible. And you'll see in our example plan that there are some locations where that's not possible. When you stack your dimension lines should be about half an inch apart. And this is just general good drafting technique. Don't allow your extension lines to touch the wall or the item that you're pointing at. Finally, use a slash. This is the official NKBA standard, is that to use that slash for your dimensions. All dimensions should read left to right, basically, parallel to the title block. And you see that example here, but you see it here too. Okay, and they are in the middle of the dimension line. See how they break the dimension line? This is different than AIA standards, in which the number will sit on top of the line, a continuous line, and it will be turned in the direction of the dimension. All right, so NKBA, just a little bit different. For every wall in your floor plan, you are going to have 3 layers of dimensions. The first dimension line right here, closest to the wall, so here's our wall, it's got a window in it, right? Closest to the wall. And in this line, we're going to dimension any usable wall space. So we're going to start, this is where the wall turns, makes an L, by the way. So at the interior corner, and you're going to dimension to, or the interior of this casing right here. So we're dimensioning any casings, any openings, any changes, jogs in the wall surface. So clear and usable wall space. Second line right here is the center point of any appliances and fixtures. So we're going to start again at an interior wall corner, and then we're going to the center line of an appliance or fixture that's not shown in this illustration to the next appliance, it's probably to the sink that's right here, and to the next one. A couple of important things. First of all, have this CL or center line symbol. Second of all, this extension line right here uses the center line type. And lastly, it breaks, your extension line breaks to go around or under extension line number 1. All right, this is a little bit confusing. Our third dimension line right here, number 3, is the overall dimension of the wall. It's probably the entire width of your room, but if you have like an L-shaped room for some reason or a jog in your wall, you might have a couple of intermediate dimensions in this one. Let's talk a little bit more about those center lines. What do you need to put a center line on? Any appliances, any sinks, tubs, showers, toilets, bidets. Why are we providing a whole separate dimension line and dimensioning these particular items to the center? It's because you need to install the electricity and utilities for these items before you close the walls up. And so you're going to measure to the center line of each of them. Let's finish up our discussion of dimensioning the floor plan by comparing and contrasting the NKBA versus AIA standards. On the left here, we have our NKBA standard dimensions. They start from the interior of the finished surface of the wall. All right, so we're assuming that the wall is already built. We're touching the sheetrock. Next, we measure to the outside edge or corner of any casing or trim. In the second line of dimensions, we are again measuring from the inside wall finished surface to the center line of any fixtures and appliances. And our final kind of longest dimension here is going to go to the finished wall surfaces on both sides of the room. Notice this door here. We are simply measuring to the casing, outer casing of each side of the door. If this was a new door, by the way, you would also tag it in your specifications. Let's look at the AIA. It's a little bit different. First of all, typically measure to the exterior of an exterior wall, sorry, the outside of the exterior wall. Measure to the center line of windows and doors. And if casings are even shown, which they often aren't even drawn on a floor plan, they certainly are not dimensioned in an architectural plan. For interior walls, they will be measured often to the center line. If not to the center line, sometimes they'll be measured to the face of stud, which is different. Remember, there's going to be a layer of sheetrock on that stud. In this video, we covered NKBA dimensioning standards for floor plans. Next, we're going to talk about interior elevations.